Hello and welcome back to Our Two Minds podcast with two hypnotherapists sharing their feelings and thoughts about the world. Today we're going to talk about loneliness, and we are Karen Burrett from Hypnotherapy for Healing, solution focused hypnotherapist,
and Angela Brown, performance coach and hypnotherapist.
Okay, so loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling we get when our needs for social interaction aren't being met. It's not the same as being alone. Loneliness is a specific feeling when we are not getting our needs met. So you can feel lonely when you're in a big crowd of people. You might feel lonely at a social event. You might have a loving partner or a good family around you. It can also be the feeling of being unhappy about an aspect of yourself. And as a consequence of that, you find that you can't engage fully with people. You might feel that you're unworthy, or that other people don't want to know about your problems, or that you're being a nuisance. It might also be that you don't feel you have enough capacity to meet the needs of other people because of the place that you find yourself in. So it could be linked to a lack of confidence or low self-esteem. It might look like an inability to meet a social obligation or to answer or return a phone call. And sometimes these symptoms can also be a symptom of depression.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Karen. And I think you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, the fact that loneliness is different from being alone. So it's quite a different thing, because there's lots of people who actually choose to be on their own. They choose to live alone, they choose to work alone, and they're quite happy with that being the case.
Yeah.
So loneliness is really rather quite different. And it's really interesting to think about the types of people that might get lonely. Because generally people associate loneliness with older people, I find. And it's not necessarily older people that are feeling lonely. So it could be students who've moved to a new school, a new university, or college. It could be people who have moved for their work, so they've gone to a different place. They don't know anybody. They're working in a new environment, or just living in a new environment if they've moved with a partner or something like that. It can be people who have been recently bereaved, or even not recently bereaved, but bereaved and are still grieving for somebody, or they may be grieving for a relationship and having those feelings of loneliness. They might have health issues, or be disabled, or actually be the carer of somebody with health issues or a disability.
So I guess we're saying actually it can be absolutely anybody.
That is exactly what you're saying.
It might be at any time in your life.
Yeah, absolutely any time in your life.
And I think that's important too, isn't it? Because people do quite often feel that they're the only one, or that they've done something to deserve this, but in actual fact it just can be wrong place, wrong time, almost, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's about, I suppose, recognising those signs. So what sort of signs? I mean, when you're talking to somebody within your therapy room, for instance, and you recognise that actually what they're describing you are, or what they're describing to you are symptoms of loneliness. What is it? What are they saying that you're recognising?
Yeah, I mean, it's generally a feeling of low mood, you know, or feeling out of place. It might be irritability. And again, it comes back to this business of not feeling that your needs are being met.
Yeah.
Those are very common threads. Obviously, that's not an exhaustive list, you know, but these are the most common ones, I would say. It's an air of sadness, it's an air of dissatisfaction. As I say, it could be about self-esteem or feeling unworthy. It's a whole raft of feelings. But I think actually what I might do in that scenario is I might explore what their social network and their work gives them in the context of, you know, the socialisation needs that we all have. So I think if you like, any symptom that we might describe as negative, and then perhaps a probe to see what their social environment is like, what their engagement is like with other people. Yeah. Would that resonate with your clients?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And any kind of sort of hypnotherapy or talking therapy can help with those feelings of loneliness, and it is about discovering what their individual needs are, because it's not the same in every person.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you don't have those same needs, and trying to reinforce and reframe their thoughts about how to best achieve those needs in relationship to their individual needs. So, for example, it might be something like volunteering to increase their self-esteem. You mentioned that self-esteem earlier. Taking part in activities that will help to increase their confidence. And like we were saying, because it's individual needs, not everything will suit everybody.
Yeah.
So social media, for example, some people will really find that helpful because they'll join groups, they'll get to talk to people who are feeling like they are, or people that are interested in what they're interested in, so they get that group, that feeling of really belonging somewhere. Whereas for other people, looking on social media can have completely the opposite effect. You know, they can feel like they're missing out on things, or actually looking at social media can make them feel like they're not worthy of anything. And so there's this sort of difference in how you approach.
Yes, that negative comparison that people can make, aren't they? They look at somebody else's lifestyle and think, wow, they're having a great time.
Yeah.
They've got gorgeous children or a lovely home or whatever. But of course, in reality, you never know what's really going on. But I think social media can be actually quite negative in these situations. And during lockdown, for example, at the time I was living on my own, and that heightened loneliness, well, everybody didn't it? COVID.
Certainly did, yeah.
But my solution to that actually was I found time to volunteer, and I found that really helpful. It makes you feel good about yourself, but you're in a situation where you are meeting people, and I'm a strong advocate of volunteering. Actually, if you can possibly find the time to do it, and it doesn't have to be a big time commitment. You know, it might be a couple of hours that you can offer at a weekend, but it's a great way to get social engagement and to make you feel better about yourself.
It is, and often volunteering with animals, you know, is really helpful for people because they can get so much love and attention from animals as well, so that you know, you get this sort of
you can cuddle any animal, but you can't cuddle any human being.
This is absolutely right. Although I think we have had a cat in the past that wouldn't want to be cuddled.
Oh well, there's always one.
But it is like that. So even doing something like walking a dog for somebody who is unable to walk their dog themselves, you know, and then you've got that contact with the person as well as with the animal that you can build on to help to sort of increase the way you're feeling in terms of your confidence and your self-esteem, which will help to reduce those feelings of loneliness. And I think that well-being overall is really key, isn't it? I mean, that's really key to reducing any feelings of loneliness.
Of course. Yeah.
Because the better you feel about yourself, then the less likely you are to feel that loneliness. And that's, you know, there's all sorts of things that we can do to increase our well-being, like sleep management, eating well, reducing alcohol consumption. Doesn't mean you don't have, you know, you can't drink alcohol, but reducing alcohol consumption can actually help to improve your sleep.
Yes.
You know, and that in turn helps to improve how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to talk about that a lot, aren't we? That's going to be a recurring theme, isn't it, through our podcast?
Very recurring theme. And another one is probably going to be spending time outdoors.
Well, we're both huge fans of that, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Both really will bang on about that for England.
And I think at the moment we're having this really cold spell. So it's absolutely freezing outside. There's so much snow. I look out of the window and I think, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. I can't wait to get out there to walk the dog in the morning. And my dog loves it. He loves being out in the snow. And so going out in that, and it's so crisp, so fresh. Whereas somebody who's feeling lonely will look out of their window and they'll see that as something that they can't do. They'll see it as a barrier to
just
getting
reinforces
out.
the feeling of loneliness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's an obstacle to get out to the world and limits your access to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously now all of these podcasts, we're sharing our thoughts and our opinions on the world. And there are lots of other sources of help available. Mind is a fantastic organisation. Again, that's wonderful. A thing that we share a passion for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great information online about communities and about befriending services for carers UK, Age UK, etc. a big favourite of mine is something I found on Twitter. Not everyone's a Twitter fan, but you know, I found a fantastic thing on Twitter a couple of years ago. And every Christmas, Sarah Millican hosts something called #JoinIn. And it is people who are online and will join in and will engage and chat and banter with you through Christmas Day. And I just think that's
That sounds
marvellous.
great.
It
That's
honestly, it's just a
fantastic.
fabulous thing. If you do happen to be on your own and you are feeling lonely as opposed to being quite happy to be alone, something like that is a fantastic source of help. Get onto Twitter, #JoinIn, and as I say, there'll be lots of other people there really happy to engage with you and to chat. So you're helping yourself and you're helping other people as well.
Yeah.
So it's a real win. Yeah.
That's a win-win situation, definitely.
So I don't know, a quick recap maybe. Yeah, I think would be quite useful. Take care of yourself, you know, keep yourself well and healthy. Healthy body, healthy mind, energy, enthusiasm, all of those good things. Monitor your sleep, as I say, big topic for you and I, but you know, if you're sleeping well, it just improves the way that you see the world. Eating well and reducing your alcohol intake. And as I say, if you can get outdoors, that's a fantastic thing to be doing as well.
And if you can't get outdoors, open your window.
Oh, fresh air.
Just have a little bit of fresh air coming in there, and that can also make you feel just that little bit better by having that fresh air, I think.
Yeah. And just remember all of the activities, all of the things you can do to help yourself. You know, if you're out and about, smile at people, hold a door for somebody, say thank you when someone does something great for you. Think about volunteering. As I say, you can tell we're both big fans of that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and I think, you know, this is our point for our regular check-in, isn't it? So as a solution-focused hypnotherapist, I'm going to ask you, Angela, what's been good?
What's been good? Well, I think I mentioned earlier going out in the snow. Love the snow. So that's been really good. Thoroughly enjoyed that. What else has been good? For me, leading up to the Christmas period, finding things that I can give to other people, that's been really enjoyable as well. And preparing for having gifts. Having guests, also having gifts.
Your guests
Let's
are
hope
gifts.
so, exactly. And I still write Christmas cards, so I've thoroughly enjoyed doing that because it's made me think about those people that I might not have been thinking about recently.
And those are all amazing things, but as ever, I just want one more, please. One more, what's been good?
One more?
Yeah,
You've already had 3.
I want more.
Something else that's been good for me is that I have just learned how to write a blog.
Wow.
And to share it on social media.
No into your talents. Do you blog the way you podcast?
As in not very well at the moment.
No comment.
Things will improve.
Optimist.
Absolutely. As are you.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you now, so what are you really grateful for and what's positive about your life at the moment?
Okay, I had a spontaneous trip to Bristol where I worked for a couple of years and I really loved that. It was fabulous to walk around and see all the places I used to go. While I was there, I completed my Christmas shopping and we're always grateful
Well done.
when we reach that point, aren't we? And I've also got all my cards written, and they're ready to go in the post, so I'm quite happy about that and quite grateful for that too.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So, next episode, what are we going to talk about? We've decided we're going to talk about mood boosters next episode. So this will be for the start of the new year, all about the chemicals in our brains that make us happy. So we're hoping for a happy start to the new year.
In the meantime, we wish you a Merry Christmas and we will be back after the Christmas break with mood boosters.
Bye for now.
Thanks, bye-bye.